Welcome to this program, Deep Relaxation Meditation. Congratulations on taking this big step forward to achieving deep relaxation and receiving all the benefits that can come from it. Relaxation is an important aspect of a healthy lifestyle, and yet, in this modern world, so many people seem to struggle with it, unable to quiet that busy mind, wind down, and just relax. One of the easiest ways to gain a deep and rejuvenating relaxation is by practicing meditation regularly. Unlike sleep, meditation gives us the ability to relax the body and mind while being in complete control of the experience. We can set how long to meditate for, what the intention of the meditation is, and what mental experience to have while in the meditative trance. In this course, I will introduce you to the concepts of meditation, dispel many of the myths and misconceptions surrounding meditation, cover the science behind it, and outline many of the different types of meditation that are available. I'll teach you techniques to quiet your mind and teach you the basics of how to meditate. I've also included incredibly powerful guided meditations that will help you achieve that deep relaxation even faster, as well as plenty of other stuff too. I'm sure you'll find that you already possess many of the skills required to meditate successfully. Meditation should be easy, fun, and can often be enlightening. It is my hope that by following this course and putting what you learn into practice, you can introduce meditation as a regular part of your life and gain so many benefits that your life can improve dramatically. So what is meditation? Well, there are so many different types of meditation that it's not always easy to determine what it actually is. The reason for this is that the practice of meditation has been tied into a lot of other ideas and practices that can make it confusing. Practices such as religion, spirituality, personal development, and health and fitness, to name a few. Each of these ideas or practices then attaching their own elements to the meditation and calling the whole thing meditation. Is it any wonder that it can be confusing when you have people saying, you need to sit in this position and chant these words at 3 o'clock in the morning on the second Friday in August when the moon is full and the tide is out? When we strip away all of these attached ideas and practices, we're left with a core concept of meditation, which is easy to understand and be practiced by anyone. I want to read you a quote that I read years ago that sums it up perfectly. Being Zen does not mean thinking about nothing while washing the dishes. It is simply to wash the dishes. So what is Zen, and why am I talking about doing the dishes? Well, Zen is a Japanese form of Buddhism that focuses on meditation, and the quote eloquently gets to the heart of what meditation is. In its simplest form, meditation means to be in the moment completely, without thinking about the myriad of things our minds often have on the go. It also means to not even think about whatever it is we are doing at the time and simply do it without the thought. As comical as it sounds, many people do this when first starting out with meditation, myself included. We sit down, close our eyes, and then have the repetitive thought in our heads, I've got to think of nothing. Think of nothing. Nothing. Think of nothing. Inevitably, this approach rarely works. To put it another way, meditation is to focus on one thing and let go of all other thoughts and distractions. With this definition, it's easy to see how it can fit in with many religious, spiritual, and health practices. You may also have noticed that doing the dishes isn't exactly sitting down with your eyes closed and doing nothing. It is actually one of the many myths surrounding meditation that we need to sit and do nothing. Although the most common approach to meditating, especially while learning, is to sit still, close your eyes, and focus on your thoughts or breathing. One can actually meditate while doing almost anything. You don't even need to close your eyes. One of the many forms of meditation that I've studied was specifically an open eye meditation with the Brahma Kumaris, and to my surprise, I was able to reach an even deeper level of meditative trance than many of the closed eye meditations. As you gain greater experience with meditation, you'll find that in everyday life, your mind will naturally focus more on the task at hand and less on all the thoughts that were in your mind. It is possible that you will get to a point where you can be so present with the tasks, it's as if the rest of the world no longer exists until the task is complete. Myths and misconceptions about meditation. To many people, meditation is a mystical practice of which little is known. Because of this, many myths and misconceptions have arisen, which can prevent people from giving meditation a go. In this section, I want to address some of the key myths and misconceptions that are around. If you have a particular concern that isn't addressed, the easiest thing to do is post a question in our private Facebook group, and myself or one of our members will address the issue for you. Meditation is a form of prayer to God. This is not the case. However, prayer can be a form of meditation. Prayer is a way of focusing all of your attention on speaking with God. It is this focusing of attention that is meditation. The speaking with God part has nothing to do with meditation. You need to be spiritual to meditate. Although many spiritual people do use meditation as a way of deepening their spirituality, you do not need to be spiritual to meditate. Meditation is a technique of the mind and focusing your thoughts inwards. You can essentially meditate on anything you can think of. You could even meditate on your financial accounts if you felt so inclined. You need to sit with your feet behind your head or some other weird position. This is most likely a form of yoga. Although meditation is an important part of yoga, the meditation is combined with postures, movement, breathing exercises, and philosophies as a way of cultivating health and well-being. Meditation can be achieved by standing, walking, moving, and possibly most importantly, by sitting comfortably in your favorite chair. You have to be able to empty your mind completely to meditate. Meditation isn't about emptying your mind completely. It is about quietening your mind and bringing your attention and focus to only one thing. Through regular practice, that one thing can be to observe your own thoughts, emotions, and sensations, as if you are dissociated from them. This can be an amazing skill to develop a greater sense of self-awareness. You fail if you think about anything else. This is just not true. Having your mind wander to other thoughts while meditating is perfectly normal, especially when first starting out. Over time and with regular practice, this will happen less and less. But even with the most advanced practitioners of meditation out there, from time to time, their mind still wanders. Meditation is something you can either do or not do. Meditation is a skill that anyone can learn. Like all skills, it takes time and practice to learn it and become good at it. If you put the effort in, you will learn how to meditate well. You need to chant Om and say Namaste to meditate. There are meditations that use the voice to create sounds as ways of focusing the mind and creating a resonance that can heighten the experience. However, these are not necessary to be able to meditate. It can take a long time to get to any benefits from meditation. There is research that mental and physical benefits can be reached in as little as 8 weeks. From my personal experience teaching meditation, some of the benefits can often be noticed even after the first practice. You need to live in a monastery, eat only rice, and practice 8 hours a day to see real benefits. Yes, that is, if you want to be a monk and dedicate your entire life to reaching ultimate enlightenment. However, for the rest of us, even 10 minutes a day can generate positive effects on our lives by creating a more relaxed and greater focused state of mind. As with most skills, the more time you put in, the better the results will be. Meditation is anti-Christian and the devil's work. It isn't. Meditation is simply a skill to focus your attention, which can lead to greater personal insight. There are many aspects of Christianity that incorporate meditation. Practices such as prayer and singing hymns are both forms of meditation. Meditation is just relaxation. Although one of the many benefits of meditation is relaxation, meditation can also be used for deep introspection. By focusing inwards to our unconscious minds, we can observe and deal with our thoughts and emotions, as well as gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. Meditation is the same as hypnosis. Actually, the two are very similar. However, there are some subtle differences. Meditation is generally about pure thought, while hypnosis can combine visualization and metaphors. For someone starting out, hypnosis can be a lot easier to practice before transitioning into pure meditation. The guided meditations in this program contain hypnotic elements as a way to break through the busy minds and reach that meditative state much quicker. Your eyes must be closed to meditate. As mentioned earlier, although it can greatly help in shutting out distractions, especially when starting out, meditation can be practiced with your eyes open. Some open-eye meditations can allow you to see the world through altered states of consciousness. Meditation is the same as sleep. Sleep and meditation are far from the same thing. While in sleep, you are completely unconscious. However, in a meditative state, you are not only conscious, it is possible to reach a state of superconsciousness and awareness. The benefits of meditation. There are so many benefits to meditating. There was a time that meditation was thought to only be for the spiritually enlightened. Thanks to the many scientific studies in recent years, we now know that everyone can experience these numerous benefits when meditating regularly. I'll keep this section fairly succinct. However, if you want to delve deeper, I've added links to many of the research papers on numerous studies that have been done. Links to download the papers are in the next section. All of the following benefits have been scientifically proven. It reduces stress. This is possibly the most common reason people take up meditating. It decreases depression and anxiety. A number of studies have shown how well mindfulness practices can help in the reduction of the effects of depression and anxiety. You get increased brain matter. In a study at the Laboratory of Neuroimaging at UCLA School of Medicine, it was found that people who meditated had larger volumes of grey matter in the parts of the brain that are responsible for emotional regulation and response control. This can lead to experiencing greater positive emotions as well as having greater self-control. It increases emotional intelligence. By giving our mind a time out, we allow space for our thoughts and emotions to sort themselves out. Over time, this will result in greater emotional intelligence. Improved introspection. Taking time to examine our own mental and emotional processes is paramount to any self-development. It is how we become more self-aware and learn the areas we need to work on to improve. There is no better tool for this than meditation. It increases your physical health. Several studies have shown that through mindfulness practices such as meditation, the body can actually improve its immune function in positive ways. It increases creativity. It has been shown that meditating for as little as 10 minutes can improve your divergent thinking, which allows for many new ideas to be generated, as well as convergent thinking, which is the process for creating a possible solution for a particular problem. Together, these form the two main ingredients for creative thinking. It improves your memory. Many of the studies have reported that the subjects who meditated regularly gained improved memory along with other mental abilities. Increases focus and attention. Believe it or not, the ability to focus and hold our attention is not a gift we are either born with or without. They are skills, and like any skill, the more you practice, the better you become. Meditation is the practice of focusing your attention. The more you meditate, the better you will become. The increased focus and attention will then trickle down into every other aspect of your life. It improves your ability to multitask. With increased focus, attention, and improved memory comes a greater ability to hold more information in your mind at once, which can result in greater ability to multitask. It reduces fatigue. Meditating for even a short time can refresh your mind and reduce fatigue and tiredness for the rest of the day. It increases positive emotions. This is directly related to how meditation physically changes the brain and develops the area for experiencing positive emotions. It improves your breathing and heart rate. By focusing on your breathing, you'll be able to take control of it, speed, depth, and quality. By slowing your breathing, you can also slow your heartbeat. It can also reduce your blood pressure. If you are taking control of your breathing and heartbeat and reducing your stress, it makes sense that you can also reduce your blood pressure. It helps reduce pain. It has been shown that pain unpleasantness can be reduced by up to 57% and pain intensity ratings by 40%. My work in hypnotherapy has shown that it can actually be a lot higher than that in many individuals. It lowers inflammation. Meditation can significantly lower the inflammatory response in our bodies. Inflammation has been found to be at the root of many diseases. By lowering inflammation, you can also lower the risk of disease. This also covers conditions like psoriasis, atopic dermatitis, eczema, alopecia, and others. It can also reduce the effects of fibromyalgia. A study showed significant improvements to the overall health of those managing fibromyalgia with meditation. It increases social connection. The feeling of connectedness is something we all crave if we acknowledge it or not. Meditation can help us form a deeper connection with all things. Feeling less lonely. Of course, if something helps you feel a greater connection, one of the side effects is that you'll also feel less lonely too. It makes you more compassionate, not only towards others, but towards yourself as well. And overall quality of life is increased. Even if you only benefit from a few of the above results, that would be an improvement in your quality of life, would it not? There are plenty of other benefits to meditating that as yet do not have scientific studies to back them up. I'm sure in the future many of these will make their way up to the previous list. It can enhance your self-esteem and self-acceptance, improve resilience against adversity, helps to prevent emotional eating and smoking, helps manage ADHD, can help prevent arthritis and other autoimmune diseases, can reduce symptoms of panic, and can decrease the need for sleep, helps to reduce substance abuse, and improves learning ability. It can better prepare you for stressful events and reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. It can also reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and may slow the progression of HIV. It may also slow the rate of cellular aging, and it may actually be able to affect your reality on a quantum level. types of meditation. If you consider any type of mindfulness practice as a form of meditation, the types of meditation are almost endless. There are, however, a number of formal styles that you may wish to consider once you've learned the basics. All offer different approaches and set different intentions. None of them are any better or worse, and it all comes down to each individual's personal choice and what you find works best for you. In no particular order, there are chakra meditations. Chakra is a Sanskrit word that translates to wheel or disc and references the spiritual energy centers of the human body. There are 7 main centers or chakras, including the root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. It is thought that these energy points can become blocked, resulting in physical ailments and disease. A chakra meditation focuses on unblocking and keeping these energy centers clear and flowing with pure energy, resulting in better health. Christian meditation. The goal of contemplative practices in Christianity is moral purification and a deeper understanding of the Bible or a closer intimacy with God and Christ. This can include contemplative prayer, contemplative reading, and sitting with God. Contemplative prayer usually involves the silent repetition of sacred words or sentences with focus and devotion. Contemplative reading involves thinking deeply about the teachings of the Bible. Sitting with God is to focus mind, heart, and soul on the presence of God. Focused attention meditation. This is possibly one of the most common styles of meditating, especially for beginners. It is where you focus all of your attention on just one thing, such as the breath, a body part, a visualization, or a single thought, or something external such as a candle flame, a point on a wall, or a picture, or a crystal. Guided meditation. Guided meditation is a modern approach to teaching meditation to a wide group of people and is one of the easiest ways to start practicing meditation. There are guided meditations for almost every style of meditation out there and basically consists of following the instructions of a guide. Because of their nature, guided meditations can be delivered in person, groups, recorded on CDs, or listened to on the internet. They can also include music, sound effects, and binaural beats to enhance the experience. I'll go into binaural beats a little bit more later on in the course. Hypnotic meditation. Similar to a guided meditation, hypnotic meditation is different in that it uses hypnotic language to speak directly to your unconscious mind. Because of this, hypnotic meditation can help the practitioner gain even deeper and more profound results faster than may be possible practicing alone. This is particularly useful for people with busy minds who do not find it easy to relax and quiet the mind. I am meditation. This meditation is designed to investigate our true nature by asking the question, who am I? This practice is said to culminate with the intimate knowledge of the true self of the practitioner. This is a powerful approach to bringing inner freedom and peace. Kundalini meditation. The goal of Kundalini meditation is to awaken the Kundalini energy which lies dormant, coiled at the base of the spine, develop several psychic centers in the body, and eventually achieve enlightenment. The word Kundalini translates from Sanskrit to coiled one. There are several dangers associated with this practice, and it should not be attempted without a qualified teacher. Loving kindness meditation. This meditation from Buddhist traditions can boost one's ability to empathize with others, develop positive emotions through compassion, grow a more loving attitude towards oneself, increase self-acceptance, instill a greater feeling of competence about one's life, and increase the feeling of purpose in life. Mindfulness meditation. An adaptation from traditional Buddhist meditation practices, mindfulness is the common Western translation for the Buddhist term sati. Anapanasati translates to mindfulness of the breathing. Mindfulness meditation is one of the easiest ways to start meditating. Om meditation. Om, or mantra meditation, is a Hindu meditation. A mantra is a syllable or word without any particular meaning. This is then repeated for the purpose of focusing your mind. Some claim that the vibrations associated with specific pronunciations are important in gaining the full experience. Open attention meditation. This is the opposite of a focused attention meditation. Instead of focusing your attention on just one thing, you open your awareness to all things, such as thoughts, emotions, sensations, memories, as well as what you are sensing and what is going on around you. Just allowing everything to occur without judgment or reaction, simply allowing all perception to flow through and out as if you were merely an observer. Prana meditation. The full term being pranayama is a form of breathing regulation and is technically not a meditation. However, it is a good practice for calming the mind and balancing moods. There are several variations, the simplest being the 4-4-4-4 breathing exercise. This means breathing in to the count of 4, holding for the count of 4, breathing out for 4, and then holding empty for 4, and then repeating. Pure being meditation. The state of pure being is generally the purpose behind most meditation. It is a state of quiet emptiness where all things are let go, leaving only the pure introspective presence of the meditator. Qigong meditation. This is a Chinese word meaning life energy cultivation. It is a body-mind exercise for health, meditation, and martial arts training, which typically involves slow body movement, inner focus, and regulated breathing. Sound meditation. This meditation is the focusing on sounds, often with the use of bells, gongs, Tibetan singing bowls, chimes, flutes, and more. All attention is focused on the sound to quiet the mind until the practitioner eventually hears the internal sounds of the body and the mind. Sufi meditation. Sufism is the esoteric path within Islam, within the goal of purifying oneself to achieve union with Allah. Practitioners follow a collection of spiritual and meditative practices, including contemplation of God, heartbeat meditation, breathing meditation, bond of love meditation, and gazing meditation, among others. Tantra meditations. Although often associated with the idea of ritualized sex, Tantra is actually a collection of contemplative practices with over 100 different meditations. Taoist meditations. This is a collection of practices that date back to the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu in the 6th century BC and was influenced by Buddhist meditation. The main aspect to this meditation is the creation, transformation, and circulation of inner energy for the purpose of quietening the mind and body, bringing together the body and spirit, finding inner peace and harmony with the Tao. Tao meaning the absolute principle underlying the universe. Third eye meditation. A form of focused attention meditation where the focus is the third eye, or the point between the eyebrows. Some claim that this can lead to experiencing a higher sense of consciousness, increasing intuition, aligning with the law of attraction, and gaining a greater understanding of the universe within. Transcendental meditation. This is a specific form of mantra meditation, originating in India and was brought to fame in the West by pop culture icons such as the Beatles and the Beach Boys. Transcendental meditation can only be taught by a licensed instructor and can cost thousands of dollars. This is something that has brought the technique many critics. Vipassana meditation. A traditional Buddhist meditation dating back to the 6th century BC that is still practiced today in a more westernized version. It is good for grounding yourself and observing how your mind works. Yoga meditations. Yoga, meaning union, goes as far back as 1700 BC. Yoga is more than just one type of meditation and brings together many practices such as rules of conduct, physical postures, breathing exercises, and contemplative practices, all with the goal of spiritual purification. It is also the oldest known meditation practice on earth. Zen meditation. As mentioned earlier, Zen comes from Japanese Buddhism and is sometimes referred to as Zazen, meaning seated meditation. This is the meditation traditionally linked to the iconic lotus position of someone sitting on the floor with their legs crossed, back straight, and hands touching to form a circle. The practitioner then commonly focuses on the breath, or a form of open attention meditation. So what style of meditation is this program? Well, this program is made up of two components: the meditation techniques that I teach and the included guided meditations. What I teach is a very basic, stripped-down version of a focused attention meditation. In its simplest terms, to focus on breath and hold a thought or visualization in the mind. These are the basic skills for almost all other meditation types. Once learned, you'll be able to easily seek out other styles and give them a go. The guided meditations that I've recorded for this program use the style of hypnotic meditation. I've found in my teachings that this style of guided meditation is the easiest and most powerful for those starting out with meditation to gain great results. Many of my students who claimed they couldn't quiet their mind enough to meditate had profound experiences of deep relaxation and self-awareness. I've designed them specifically to cut through the mental clutter and bring about the deepest of relaxations. Once in a deep relaxation, they'll build on ideas of self-awareness, self-love, love for others, greater focus, better attention, increased compassion, and building upon inner strength and courage. One of the core benefits of meditation is the chance to gain some introspective understanding in order to gain greater self-awareness. Each of these guided meditations provides space for this to occur and asks your unconscious mind to bring any messages to the forefront of your awareness. This approach forces us to seek greater depth within, to uncover any thoughts, beliefs, problems, or emotions that we unconsciously know need attention. Thought and voices. What is thought? Thought is a strange thing indeed. A thought can be like an idea, a memory, opinion, belief, a picture or sound, even a feeling or other senses, and sometimes something completely indescribable. They are these things that come and go in our mind, rarely sticking around for long before the next one pops in. Thoughts are created by brain function, but even in today's world of science and understanding, we know little more than that about them. There are two types of thoughts that go on in our mind: conscious and unconscious. The easiest way to illustrate this is to think of conscious thoughts as the ones you are aware of, and unconscious thoughts as the ones you aren't. Your brain is a powerful organ, so powerful it uses up to 20% of the body's total energy. This is because it's doing a lot of work. If I asked you, what are you thinking of right now? You may come back with a few different thoughts, such as, well, I'm doing this program, so I'm thinking about meditation and thoughts. And I'm also thinking about the time as I have to be somewhere in 15 minutes. So get a move on, and so on. Those are your conscious thoughts, and they use a little bit of energy. However, most of the power goes to your unconscious mind, which is monitoring and regulating all of the body's functions. When to breathe, how to breathe, make the heartbeat, create hormones, and make sure they go where they're needed, digest that food, transfer energy to that cell. How full is the bladder? Do I need to go to the toilet? And so on. The unconscious mind never sleeps. It never stops until you're dead. Some may actually argue that it's up to 10 minutes after you're dead. Can you imagine being aware of all of these thoughts all of the time? Thinking in voice. Before I go on, allow me to ask you some questions. Do you have voices in your head? When you read, is there a voice reading the words? When you have a thought, is that thought voiced in your head? Is it your voice or someone else's? I'm guessing there's a good chance that you do hear voices in your head, and there's no call for concern. It certainly doesn't make you crazy. Most of us actually do think in voice. It's called inner speech, and actually uses the same parts of the brain as using your real voice. There are a few theories as to why this is the case. One of the most likely is that it comes from the importance we place on language. As a human, language is one of the most important aspects of communicating. It is a primary focus throughout our education, from the days as a toddler, learning to speak, through school where we learn to read and write, into almost all of our interactions with others. We are either listening to language or speaking it, or most likely doing both. Thought can occur incredibly fast, often faster than we're aware of. Because of this, quite often when we talk, we aren't aware of the thoughts that are forming the words until they've already come out of our mouths. And I'm sure that's gotten many of us into trouble in the past. There has actually been research done at the Max Planck Institute for Human Cognitive and Brain Sciences, where fMRI was used for reading thoughts and could pinpoint a thought or decision up to 7 seconds before the subject became aware of it themselves. Because of this delayed awareness of our own thoughts, in our own perception, we often think and speak as one. This can give us the illusion that the thought is the voice. Combine this with the fact that most of what we learned from language. It is easy to understand why we think in voice. However, a pure thought does not have a voice. It is simply a thought. The voice comes as a result of the thought, and it is entirely possible to turn that voice off. One of the key factors in speed reading is the ability to read without the voice reading along. Once you get rid of the voice, you no longer need to read one word, then the next, and then the next in a sequential order. You can take in whole sentences or even paragraphs at once. Turning off this inner voice and becoming aware of your own pure thought is one of the goals of meditation. To let go of the voice and simply observe the thoughts as they enter and leave your mind. Don't expect, however, to turn that voice off the first time you practice meditating. It takes time and commitment to the practice in order to reach this level of pure thought. The length of time varies greatly from person to person and what is going on in their lives. It could be anything from a few days to several months. I know for myself, if life is relaxed and stress-free, I can reach this state most of the times I meditate. However, if there's a lot of stressful influences, or I've been in a very analytical frame of mind, or haven't meditated for a while, I may not be able to turn that voice off at all. As with all aspects of learning to meditate, be gentle and patient with yourself. Getting frustrated that things aren't happening the way you want them to will only make it take even longer. Breathing is a big part of meditation. There are a number of reasons for this, but I'll focus on two. The first is that breathing correctly is something we seem to have forgotten. It certainly doesn't come naturally to many people anymore. Breathing deeply and steadily can have quite a positive effect on one's life. The second reason is that breathing, for the most part, is an autonomous action. It's something that happens in our bodies without our needing to make it happen, and quite often without us even noticing. How many breaths have you taken today? How many did you notice? For this reason, it can be an easy source for focusing our attention. It's something that happens inside of us, and it is something that needs to happen constantly and rhythmically. By focusing all of our attention on our breathing, we can take control of it, usually by slowing it down over a short time. Our breathing has a surprising effect on both our physiology and our mental state. By slowing our breathing down, it will generally make us feel calmer and more at peace. Following are a number of exercises to take control of your breathing. They are the first steps towards meditation and can easily be incorporated into everyday life. In fact, if these exercises are all that you do, I'm sure you'll gain mental and physical benefits from their regular practice. The first meditation. One of the simplest meditations one can do is to focus all of your attention on your breathing. As mentioned earlier, this is called a focused attention meditation. So now this is exciting because we're at the point of your first meditation. Of course, it's never a good idea to do any form of meditation while driving, operating machinery, or being responsible for somebody else's health or well-being, or doing anything other than sitting in a safe space. You don't need to listen to this recording to do this practice. This is a very simple meditation you can do whenever you have a spare moment. It is particularly good if you are waiting for something like a doctor. So make sure you're sitting down comfortable and just take a moment to relax. It doesn't matter if your eyes are open or closed. Just sit down and relax. And just breathe normally. And without changing your breathing, become aware of each breath. Each breath in and each breath out, as well as the pauses in between. Notice where you're breathing. Notice the sensation of breathing. Notice the flow of air in and out. And once you've become aware of your breathing, start counting on each breath in. And continue counting until a thought other than the breathing passes through your mind. Then return your attention to the breathing and start counting again from the beginning. Do this for as long as you can. And at the end, take note of the highest count that you got to. Over time, you'll improve. deep breathing. So if I asked you what the depth of your breathing is, would you know what that really means? So often, when asked to take a deep breath, many people simply take a big breath at the same depth as their normal breath. Big and deep are often confused as the same thing, when actually they are very different. If you were to lay flat on the floor and notice your breath, what part of your body would be rising and falling? Is it your chest or your stomach? Many people only breathe into their chest, and this is considered a shallow breath, as you're not filling the whole area of your lungs. A deep breath is when you fill your lungs all the way down to your stomach or diaphragm. A big breath is when you take in as much air as you can until it almost hurts. Surprisingly, this can be done and still only take a shallow chest breath. The following exercise is one of the easiest ways to practice these types of breathing. To do this exercise, you'll need 2 or 3 books to help. You might want to pause the recording while you go and fetch them and find a spot on the floor that you can lay out flat. Pause the recording now and press play when you're laying down and ready to go. Okay, so hopefully by now you're laying flat on the floor and you've got a couple of books with you, wondering what you're going to do with them. So first, place a pile of the 2 or 3 books on your stomach. Balance them there the best that you can. Then once they're balanced, breathe in to your chest only. Notice how the breathing works. Notice the muscles that you are using. Notice what it feels like. If the books move or fall, you know you are breathing too deeply. Once you've achieved this, move the books to balance on your chest. This time, breathe down to fill your belly without moving your chest. Notice how different it is. What different muscles are being used, and how different it feels. Again, if the books move or fall, you know you aren't breathing deeply enough. Next, place 1 book on your belly and 1 on your chest. And this time breathe to fill your entire lungs. And both your chest and your belly should be rising and falling together. Again, notice all the muscles you're using. Notice how different it feels. Notice what it's like to fill your lungs completely. Okay, you can get up off the floor now. This exercise helps you to gain greater awareness of your body and your breathing. If you can introduce this deep breathing to your everyday life, you'll notice changes in yourself. Things become less stressful, you'll gain a calmer perspective on things and all kinds of other benefits. It's amazing how this simple breathing technique can change many aspects of your life. It's all in the pause. Now I must issue a warning with this exercise, and for any of the exercises going forward. This or any of the exercises should never become uncomfortable, and you should never become lightheaded. If you experience either of these or any other negative effects, stop immediately and return your breathing to normal. Usually, when someone has never actively controlled their breathing before, I've found that their breathing is continuous. In, out, in, out. I'm exaggerating it for the effect, but you get the idea. The next step in breath control and awareness is to add a pause. 2 actually. This means that you'll be breathing in, then pause for a moment, breathe out, then pause again, before breathing in again. This is possibly one of the most common types of meditation and is taken from the prana meditation exercise. It is called the 4-4-4-4 breathing exercise. This means breathing into the count of 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, and holding empty for 4. It is important to note that this is to the count of 4, whatever that may be for you. This doesn't have to be 4 seconds. To start with, go with whatever is a comfortable 4 count for you. This will vary from person to person depending on things like lung capacity and fitness, etc. Once you've done this comfortably, consider adding an extra count. So it's breathing in to the count of 5, holding for 5, breathing out for 5, and holding for 5. Then try for 6 count and possibly a 7 count. Over time, the more you practice, the slower your breathing will become. It's good to push yourself slightly with this, but remember to always keep it comfortable. A variation on this technique, and one that may suit some people better, is to start with the 4 counts, then only increase the counts on the breathing in and out, while keeping the pauses to a 4 count. For instance, breathing into the count of 6, holding for 4, out for 6, and then holding empty for 4. See which version suits you best. It is rare when meditating that you'll keep this form of breathing up for very long. It is quite often only for the first minute or so to help you relax before returning to your normal breathing rate. Visualization. When it comes to following guided meditations, more often than not, you will hear the term visualize. Visualization is something we can all do, although the term itself can be a little misleading. This can result in some people thinking that they're unable to visualize. The misconception is that visualization means to get a clear image of something in your mind's eye and see it as if it was real. This is not necessarily the case. Although some people can do this, many can't, myself included. This is because they experience the world in different ways. I used to think that there was something wrong with me because I couldn't get clear images in my mind the way that others described it. It turns out that some people have minds that are just wired differently, and that's okay. The way we experience the world is through our senses, and most people have one sense that is more dominant than the others. It is this dominant sense that then crosses over from the outer world to how we also interpret our inner worlds. Around 60% of the population have a visual sense as their dominant one, and these are the people who can usually gain a clear image in their mind. Around 20% of people are auditory, meaning their dominant sense is hearing sound and they may be able to experience their inner world through sounds and music. Another 20% is kinesthetic, who experience through touch and feelings. This is the group I fall into, and our inner world is experienced through emotion, feeling, and intuition. In very rare cases, a person can experience olfactory, which is a sense of smell, or gustatory, which is a sense of taste, as their dominant sense. There is another group of people that are very analytical. This can also be the case with their inner world, analysing and thinking logically about everything. Although this isn't a sense as such, it is still a way that some people interact with the world. This perception of the world is referred to as auditory digital, or AD for short. Each of these types of people experience both the outer and their inner worlds very differently. They even use different language. Have you ever expressed plans to somebody and one person will say, "That looks great." Another might say, "That sounds great," while the third says, "That feels great." This is because of their inner worlds. So it makes sense that we would all be able to visualize differently. It would actually be a lot easier to explain if we didn't use the word visualize, but unfortunately, that's the word we've been given. So to demonstrate this, allow me to ask you several questions to inspire your imagination. So if you're doing anything, just stop for a moment and just think on these questions. First of all, I want you to think of an apple. What type of apple is it? What color is it? Where is the apple? Is it hanging from a tree or somewhere else? Maybe it's just an apple with nothing else there. Is there anything else around the apple? How did you go? Were you able to answer these questions? This is visualization. However you got those answers is the way you visualize things. You may have seen the apple in your mind. You may have felt the apple. You may just have thought of an apple, or you may have just known that there was an apple. Whatever it was for you is right for you. So if you were someone who thought they couldn't visualize, now you know that you can. You simply do it differently to how others have described it. For better or worse, guided meditations often use language aligned with the visual sense. Once you realize that visualization can really mean any type of inner representation, it opens up a whole world of meditations. Relaxation. You're probably wondering when we're getting to the relaxation part of this program, considering that's what it's made for. As I mentioned earlier, the main purpose of this program is to help you understand and use meditation as a technique to gain the relaxation that may be missing from your life. But what exactly is relaxation and why is it important? With its simplest description, relaxation is a state of mind where you are free from stress, tension, and anxiety. To understand why this is important, we have to delve into what stress, tension, and anxiety actually are. We are a highly evolved species, or so we like to think. However, there are certain aspects of the way we humans work that is still in the days of ancient peoples roaming the plains, hunting, gathering, and living in harsh and dangerous conditions. Our stress response is one such thing. Stress is a natural response we have when faced with challenging and dangerous situations. It is part of the fight or flight system that is designed to get us out of danger. At the first sign of potential danger, this system floods our bodies with various hormones such as cortisol, which is known as the stress hormone. In life or death situations, this is a good thing. It can increase our alertness, open up our perception, and boost our energy. All the things that we'd need if having to fight off an enemy tribe or run like the wind to get away from a saber-toothed tiger. In this ancient way of life, this stress system works fine. We get the boost of energy, alertness, and perception and beat the tribe or get away from the tiger. The hormones are flushed from our system fairly quickly and life goes back to normal. However, in our modern world, this primal system hasn't had time to evolve and catch up with life. Bills to pay, demanding bosses and testing employees to deal with, idiots on the road, weirdos on the train, sitting for that exam, waiting to hear if you got that job. To our primal brain, these are all tigers or enemy tribes circling, waiting to pounce. The stress hormones are released and can remain in that state for days, weeks, or even years at a time. The problem when stress is maintained for long periods of time is that the cortisol is actually toxic to the body. It can cause devastating illness, disease, and mental issues in the body. Elevated cortisol levels can increase tension and anxiety, be a component of causing depression, interfere with your ability to learn, reduce your memory, lower immune function, and even lower bone density. It can increase weight gain, increase your blood pressure, cholesterol, and chances of heart disease. And it has been linked to many other nasty diseases. For these reasons, managing your stress levels is an important aspect of any healthy lifestyle. There are a number of ways to reduce stress, such as regular physical activities, social connection, laughter and having fun, listening to music you love and singing along, although that may increase the stress for those around you if you're not particularly good, and of course, meditation or mindfulness practices. So what benefits do you get from relaxation? Well, relaxation is actually the opposite of stress. Like stress, it is a natural response system designed to relieve the body of stress. Under normal conditions, this is a natural process which the body utilizes. However, it can also be applied through relaxation techniques such as meditation whenever you choose to do so. Some characteristics of the relaxation response include: your breathing becomes slow and deep, tension decreases in the muscles, a sense of confidence and calm is experienced, organ function returns to normal, the ability to think clearly is enhanced, memory improves, you gain increased mental clarity, ability to concentrate and focus. It's easier to fall asleep and gain a better quality of sleep. You even get increased productivity during the day, and stress hormones return to normal levels. Regularly inducing the relaxation response is most effective in improving day-to-day living and results in increased control over the body's responses to stress. This can also help reduce and sometimes reverse any damage caused by stress. Did you know that there are actually multiple levels of relaxation? There are several levels from fully alert and awake all the way down to deep sleep. Each of these levels is represented by the brainwave frequency associated with it and has its own set of characteristics. The fastest brainwaves are called the gamma waves. This is anything above 40 Hz. Although some meditation gurus claim to reach brainwave levels in excess of 100 Hz or a hypergamma, gamma waves are the fastest frequency known scientifically. Gamma waves are associated with higher processing tasks, as well as cognitive functioning, insight, and are important for learning, memory, and information processing. Slightly slower is the beta waves. These are between 14 to 40 Hz. Beta brainwaves are associated with normal waking consciousness and a heightened state of alertness, logic, and critical reasoning. They are important for daily functioning. However, they can also translate into stress, anxiety, and restlessness if you remain in beta waves for too long. Alpha waves, which are 7.5 to 14 Hz. Alpha brainwaves are the bridge between conscious thinking and our unconscious mind. They are associated with deep relaxation, and usually when the eyes are closed. This is usually the state you are in when daydreaming or during a light meditation. One can experience heightened imagination, visualization, memory, learning, and concentration. Next we have the theta waves. This is from 4 to 7.5 Hz. Theta brainwaves are associated with deep meditation and light sleep, including REM or REM sleep, which stands for random eye movement or the dream state. This is where your unconscious mind rules, and you can experience vivid visualizations, great inspiration, profound creativity, and exceptional insight. Experiencing deep and raw emotions can also be achieved. This is also the level of deep hypnosis, as the unconscious mind is most susceptible to suggestions at this level. And finally we have the delta waves, which is from 0.5 to 4 Hz. Delta brainwaves are the slowest and are associated with deep, dreamless sleep and in extremely deep meditation where awareness is fully dissociated. Quality deep sleep is important for the body to heal. Not having enough deep sleep is quite detrimental to your health in a number of ways. So let's talk for a moment about the power of suggestion. As mentioned previously, the unconscious mind is the part that monitors and controls every aspect of you. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, all the functions of your body, and even what you perceive and how you perceive what happens in the world outside you. Under normal awake conditions, there is a function of the mind known as the critical factor, which acts as a gatekeeper to all the information the brain receives. It works to protect us from outside influence and information that it deems unnecessary. However, in deeply relaxed states, such as those achieved in theta brainwaves through practices like meditation and hypnosis, this gatekeeper can be shut down, allowing direct access to the unconscious mind. This is great for creating change work within the mind for personal development, either through your own work with yourself in meditation or by a professional hypnotherapist in deep hypnosis. You can change your unconscious mind by giving it suggestions in the form of commands. With the gatekeeper down, the mind can easily adopt these suggestions as a new way of thinking or being. Unfortunately, not all suggestions are good suggestions. It is important to always give yourself suggestions in the positive for what you do want rather than what you don't want. For instance, if you were wanting suggestions on losing weight, stating, "I don't want to be fat," would actually have a negative response, as the unconscious mind does not process negatives like "don't." A much better way to give yourself this suggestion would be to state, "I'm getting thinner every day." Notice how it's positive and focused towards what you want rather than back towards what you don't want. This may seem a little deep and off the topic of relaxation meditation, but it is important for me to state this. When the gatekeeper is down, the unconscious mind can also take on negative suggestions just as easily as the positive ones. With this in mind, I always recommend, if you are going to follow guided meditations of any sort, always listen to them while fully awake first. That way, you'll be able to discern if they are going to have a positive or negative effect on you. It is my hope that all the guided meditations out there are made for positive results. However, I'm also aware that the internet and the world at large has some dark people in it with nefarious intentions. A simple check before committing will keep you safe. Not only that, because anyone with a computer or smartphone can record a guided meditation, they may very well have the best of intentions at heart, but lack the knowledge and understanding of how the unconscious mind really works. Even with the best of intentions, they may inadvertently be feeding the unsuspecting unconscious mind negative suggestions. Even a great guided meditation created by someone who knows how to do it correctly may say something that your unconscious mind interprets as a negative based on your unique life experiences. It is always best to check first. The basics of guided meditation. When it comes to following along to a guided meditation, it's pretty simple. You sit, close your eyes, and follow the guide in your mind. Here are some precautions to take note of, as well as a number of tips to follow in order to gain the most from your experiences. Safety always comes first, and there are a number of safety points to be aware of. Guided meditations quite often use techniques to relax you. Never listen to them while you're driving, operating any machinery, if you're responsible for the safety of others, or doing anything other than sitting in a safe and relaxed environment where you will not be disturbed or needed for the length of the meditation. Even if you don't plan on relaxing and are just checking a meditation for its content, treat it the same. Some guided meditations, including the ones in this program, contain language, music, and sound effects that work on an unconscious level to guide you into a deep meditative trance. Sometimes the relaxation is simply irresistible, and you'll be in a relaxed state without even realizing. There is no special time of the day where meditating will give you better results. The best time of the day to meditate is the time that you can. Having said that, I personally find that meditating in the morning is better, as there's less chance of falling asleep, and it sets my mental state up for a positive day ahead. Experiment with meditating at different times to discover what works best for you. Sitting versus laying. If you read the Myths and Misconceptions of Meditation section, you'll know that you don't need to get in any fancy positions to meditate. However, I will always recommend that you sit up in a comfortable position rather than laying down. Laying down is hardwired into our brains as the position we sleep in. This can trigger certain unconscious processes to prepare us and eventually send us drifting off to sleep. Although quality sleep is an important part of a healthy lifestyle, it is not meditation and has a different, albeit similar, set of benefits. Having said that, it's more than likely at some point while meditating you may fall asleep. It happens to most of us occasionally. This is perfectly normal and okay, and possibly just a sign that you were tired and needed that extra rest. Attention, attention! It is inevitable that your attention will wander. I have never met anyone that can always maintain complete focus every single time they meditate. A wandering mind is perfectly normal and okay. Like all skills, it takes time and practice to maintain focus and attention. If you become aware that your mind has wandered, simply allow those thoughts to drift through your mind and away, and return your attention to the meditation. Always be gentle with yourself. Some people I've taught would get frustrated and angry with themselves whenever their mind wandered. Although this is quite a natural response for some, it is quite counterproductive to meditating. Think of your mind as a child. If a child is not paying attention and off having its own fun, and you get frustrated and angry, there's a good chance that child is going to dig its heels in and resist anything you have to say, and you'll probably end up in a screaming match that neither side wins. However, if you get the child's attention with love, kindness, and compassion, the child will respond and listen to what you want. The mind works the same way. If you try to force it to do something, there's a good chance that it never will. However, if you simply guide it to what you want, the mind will easily follow. So let's talk about emotions. When in a deeply relaxed state, our mind works to refresh itself. One of the side effects of this is to experience raw and occasionally powerful emotions. This is just your mind working through things and is a perfectly normal part of meditation. However, in the moment, it can sometimes be overwhelming and confronting. Although I would always recommend that you sit with these emotions until the mind has worked through and released them, sometimes we just don't have the time or desire to deal with them at that particular moment, or they may simply be too confronting for us at the time. If this is to happen and we simply bring ourselves out of the meditation, this emotional state can stay with us for some time, occasionally for days. The best thing to do while in the meditative state is to dissociate yourself from the emotions and just observe them. Once you've distanced yourself from actually feeling them, you can either continue with the meditation or bring yourself out of it. To dissociate yourself from the emotions. So how do you actually do that? Well, this technique for dissociating from your emotions in meditation also works just as well if you're feeling emotions in any circumstance in life. So step 1, from being in your emotional state, visualize yourself pulling back and out of your body so that your emotional self is in front of you, almost as if it's a reflection of you or another version of you. Observe your other self. Observe the emotions that version of you is feeling. And notice how those emotions are with that other version of you and no longer in you. Observe any lessons or learnings you can gain from this perspective. Then pull back from your emotional self even further and imagine that you're at the back of a cinema viewing the emotional you on a screen. Again, observe if there are any lessons or learnings that you can gain from this perspective. Now imagine that you have a remote control that controls the cinema. Turn the colors down to black and white. Shrink the picture down super small. And when all connection to that emotion is gone, turn it off and leave the cinema. Then you can either continue with the meditation or bring yourself back to fully alert consciousness without those emotions hanging on to you for the rest of the day. So what's the best way to stop a meditation? If at any time you need or want to stop a guided meditation for any reason, just allow yourself to become fully alert, aware, and conscious as gently as possible. Becoming fully alert from a deep meditative trance quickly can sometimes be disorienting. A simple method I use so as not to shock my system is this. Step 1. Become aware of your need to regain full consciousness. Then count from 1 to 5, raising your consciousness and awareness each number. I'll actually repeat this in my head. 1. Notice how I am sitting. 2. I'm becoming aware of my body, arms and legs. 3. Take a deep breath, clearing my lungs and chest. 4. My eyes are clearing and feeling refreshed. And 5. Opening my eyes fully alert and awake and feeling fantastic in every way. Always make sure you are fully awake and alert before continuing your day. Distractions. Distractions everywhere, distractions. Whenever meditating, it's always best to limit the number of distractions that you're exposed to. Turn off the television. Set the phone to silent. That even means turning off the vibrations. Make sure any pets aren't going to come and nudge you or jump on your lap halfway through because they're lacking attention. Having said all that, by practicing meditation regularly, it is inevitable that you will at some point that you'll have to face distractions during the meditation. Maybe the dog next door will start barking, or someone will knock at your door. The best way to deal with any distraction while meditating is gently. If there are noises that can't be stopped or controlled, or other distractions that don't need your attention, use this following method to let the irritation go. Step 1. Focus for a moment wholly on the irritation. Ask yourself what it is about it that irritates you. Then focus on the answer that you give yourself. Now imagine that irritation being encased in an impenetrable bubble of light, the purest light you've ever seen. And allow that bubble to float away. Physically blow it away, or even throw it away. Sometimes adding that actual physical action can help reinforce the distraction leaving you alone. And watch it or know that it simply disappears. And then continue with the meditation. The thing that was irritating you may still be there, but the irritation will be gone. The more time we spend focusing on an irritation, the more irritating it becomes. If the distraction is something that requires your attention, however, follow the method for stopping the meditation and awaken yourself as gently as possible. Stretch it out. At the end of any meditation session, it's always good to stand up and stretch your arms and legs and back and all of your muscles. This helps to ground you back into the present of the waking world and shake off any remnants of the meditative trance. Always make sure you are doing stretches that are okay for your body and consult a professional physiotherapist if need be. Allow me to share a little of my story and how I came to meditation, or should I say, how meditation came to me. Back when I was around 15 years old and at high school, we had a substitute teacher for one of the classes. This teacher was actually the deputy principal, Mr. Collins, as it was arranged on such a short notice. Because he had no idea where we were at in the class, and it wasn't a subject that he normally taught, he decided to teach us about meditation. This was my first introduction to meditation, and from that day on, I have kept it as an important part of my life. The meditation he taught was a very simple visualization, which I now call the Black Cat meditation. This meditation is so simple that most people can easily do this on their own without needing a recorded guide. However, on the next track, you'll find the recorded meditation for this that you can follow along to. This basic meditation can be as short as a few minutes or as long as you want it to be. It is great for those times when you don't have long and you want to calm your mind. I've used this while traveling on trains, when I'm waiting for things in a waiting room, even if I'm running early and I find a nice spot to park the car for 10 minutes. You can literally do this anywhere that it's safe. The Black Cat meditation. As with all meditations, do not listen to this while driving, operating machinery, or being responsible for anyone else's well-being, or doing anything other than sitting in a safe environment. Take a moment to get yourself comfortable. Sitting down, maybe shuffling in your seat while you sit. And maybe take a couple of deep breaths just to relax your body down. That's right. Just allow yourself to relax and allow your eyes to close. Take another deep breath in and out, and allow your breathing to return to a comfortably slow rhythm. And in your mind, think of a black cat, a jet black cat, with a fur as black can be. And the black cat has golden yellow eyes that contrast against the black fur. And imagine this black cat walking along a black path on a street. And as the black cat walks on the black path, the sun sets, bringing on the dark of night. And the black cat walks on the black path in the dark and comes to a black fence. And the cat has been walking around all day long and is becoming sleepy. And as the black cat walks, every step getting sleepier and sleepier until the black cat decides to lay down. And it lays down, the black cat, on the black path in the dark, dark night in front of the black fence, and it closes its eyes to rest and relax now. Notice how the black cat's breathing slows right down as it rests. Notice how your breathing matches the black cat's. Now count your breaths in and out, slowing them down, slower, slower, and continue for as long as you can hold your attention on your breathing and the black cat laying on the black path in the dark, dark night in front of the black fence. And just relax. That's right. Just like the black cat, breathing in sync, relaxing together. Nothing to see, nothing to do, just relax. And when you're ready, bring your attention back up to the room. Become aware of your arms and legs and notice how you're sitting. And take in a deep breath and clear your chest and lungs. And feel your eyes refreshing under your eyelids. And when you're ready, open your eyes, feeling fully refreshed and alert, and feeling amazing in every way. That's right. Let's talk for a moment about the deep relaxation guided meditations included in this program. They all serve the same purpose, which is to help you reach a deep state of relaxation. However, they all take a slightly different approach to get you there. Each of the meditations also has a different approach to letting go of stress, tension, and anxiety while building you up with powerful resources such as inner strength, courage, compassion, self-love, and more. I recommend that you follow along to each of them first. You may find that you get better results from one over another, or simply prefer the content of one more. It is okay to either mix them up or choose your favorites to follow, and it's perfectly okay to follow the same meditation over and over. Pauses to reflect. All of the meditations in this program and many other guided meditations will have moments where the guide pauses and you'll be left with only music or silence. This is a time for inner reflection, a moment to allow your thoughts to address what you've been experiencing in the meditation. There is usually an instruction immediately before the pause to help guide your inner thoughts in the right direction. However, you may find that your thoughts drift and flow to other topics and ideas too. This is okay, as it more than likely means that these other thoughts are somehow interconnected to what you are addressing, even if it's not clearly apparent how. Some of these pauses are only a few seconds long, while others are several minutes. It is important to stay in the meditation during this time and not think that the meditation has ended. All of the meditations in this program have a definite ending that brings you back to full consciousness, except for two which have alternate versions which are designed to send you off to sleep at the end, and these are indicated as such. What to do after the meditation? As mentioned in the previous section, it is always a good idea to stand up and do some stretches after meditating to ensure that you are fully awake and alert before continuing with your day. Always make sure you are fully alert before driving or putting yourself in situations that will require your full attention and competence. It is also a good idea to keep a journal of your experiences within the meditation. A meditative experience can be similar to a dream and can disperse from your memory quite quickly after regaining consciousness. By keeping a journal of your experiences, you are training your mind to remember what has occurred. This will give you greater insight and understanding of yourself and any messages that you may receive. Falling asleep. There is no harm in falling asleep while listening to these meditations. If your body requires sleep, it is actually a good thing. However, there's a good chance you'll not be getting the extra benefits that are embedded within the meditations. Sometimes you may feel like you've fallen asleep when actually you've merely been in a very deep meditative trance. The best way to tell is if you wake up at the end of the meditation. If you do wake up at the end, this means your unconscious mind was listening to everything and you were most likely in such a deep trance that it felt like sleep. If you find that you wake up sometime after the meditation has ended, there's a good chance that you'd fallen asleep. If you find that you're falling asleep regularly when listening to these meditations, it may be good to change the time you are practicing them or looking into other reasons that may be causing this. For instance, tiredness and exhaustion from lack of sleep, the positions you're meditating in. Maybe you are run down and need to recuperate. If you have a schedule to keep, it's a good idea to set an alarm to wake you up after the meditation, just in case you do fall asleep. Music and binaural beats. The meditations in this program have been designed for the ultimate relaxation. For this purpose, the background music has been designed to help with this and contains binaural beats to assist in taking you to that deep meditative trance. Binaural beats are a way of changing brainwaves through sound. The way they work is simple and yet really odd at the same time. They are the auditory equivalent of an optical illusion. You take two pure tones at slightly different frequencies and play one in each ear, and the brain creates a pulsing rhythm or beat. The beat doesn't actually exist in reality. It is just the way your brain interprets the contrasting tones. Because the beat is created within your own mind, your brainwave frequency tends to move towards that of the imagined beat. For instance, playing a tone at 300 Hz in your left ear and one of 308 Hz in your right ear will create a binaural beat of 8 Hz, meaning 8 cycles per second. If you listen to the section on brainwaves, you'll know that this will create an alpha brainwave frequency that will help with relaxation. There is a lot of information about binaural beats on the internet if you're interested. Many people create pure binaural beats for specific therapeutic and entertainment purposes. If this is an area you'd like to look into more, be warned that some of the more extreme binaural beats can have some wild effects on your nervous system. The binaural beats in these meditations are very low and unobtrusive and should only have positive effects on people. If you do feel that they are affecting you negatively for any reason, please stop the meditation and use a version of the meditations without the binaural beats. Optimal listening conditions. Listening to these meditations through any sound system, even a phone speaker, will work fine if you follow along to the guides provided. However, for an optimal experience, it is best to listen using comfortable, quality headphones. This will allow you to fully take advantage of the encoded binaural beats that make use of stereo sounds to work properly. When using headphones, it's a good idea to use ones that are particularly comfortable to wear for long periods of time. It is also important to make sure they are securely fitted so they don't fall off halfway through. Headphones should never detract from the experience or become a distraction. If this is the case, you are better off listening through a speaker of some kind. So what's next? Meditation is a beautiful practice and tool to make part of your everyday life. Whether you're using it to gain deeper relaxation, personal growth and evolution, spiritual awareness, or anything else, meditation will bring many benefits to your life. One thing to keep in mind is that there are plenty of people out in the wide world who will jump at the chance to tell you that you are doing it wrong or their way is the only way. This is not the case, as every single person is unique, and meditation is about as personal an experience as one can have. It always amazes me when I run meditation groups how 10 people all sitting next to each other, all listening to the exact same meditation, can all have completely unique experiences, understandings, and aha moments. I've witnessed people have deeply spiritual awakenings, while others laughed profusely at the comical visions that their mind created. Always remember, the experience you have, whatever your mind conjures up, is the right one for you. No one else can experience your mind for you. Be wary of those who claim otherwise. It is my deepest wish that you have gained information in this program that you can hold with you and use to help you make the most out of this beautiful thing we call life. This program will be evolving over time as I add new parts and refine others. Much of this will come from feedback from you and others who take part. You're welcome to get in touch with me with any questions you may have about meditation or this program, with any errors that you might find, or any suggestions for improvement or future additions. The easiest way for all of us to gain deeper insight and understanding is to post in the private Facebook group, which is just for members of the programs and courses that I create. The link for that group is on this page. If you'd like to keep it more private, you're more than welcome to contact me in one of the other ways that is on this page. Thank you so much for taking part in this program. I wish you all the best and happy meditating.